Hey everyone, it's Eric from the D2C newsletter and podcast. This is all killer, no filler. And for this week's episode, we are revisiting a presentation given to us by True Earth's Ryan Mckenzie back in April on his exact YouTube ads creative strategy. There'll be a lot that you can take out from this presentation. I won't go on much longer, but I will advise you to go to directtoconsumer.co right now and subscribe to our twice a week newsletter if you haven't already. Right now, we're running a referral contest where if you refer new readers to the D2C newsletter, you get entered to win a MacBook, and so does the person that you referred. So make sure you refer multiple industry colleagues and friends who want to learn more about performance marketing to join our newsletter, and you get entered to win a MacBook. For now, I'll turn it over to, I think, myself, who's going to intro Ryan Mckenzie into this about hour-long presentation, including Q&A at the end. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that it helps you dominate YouTube ads. Brands, we need to talk. It's time to start texting your customers. Yotpo, the leading e-commerce marketing platform, has the most advanced SMS marketing solution to reach customers where they are on their phones. Yotpo enables brands to build unbeatable targeted SMS experiences to create customer connections and drive revenue fast. Visit yotpo.com, that's YOTPO.com, and get personal with SMS marketing today. Quickly about YouTube. No one needs to tell, I don't need to belabor the point of how amazing a platform YouTube is. It has more than 2 billion logged in monthly users, which is crazy. Facebook has 2.87 billion monthly users, so it's a little bit smaller. But what's crazy about YouTube is that's only logged in users, and a huge percentage of views still happen when people aren't even logged in. So the amount of content that's being consumed there is just absolutely incredible. The penetration is ridiculous. 74% of adults in the US use YouTube versus only 68% of Facebook. 77% of millennials, 15 to 35-year-olds in the US use YouTube. And what's crazy, as a parent, I can attest to this. Actually, my kid doesn't watch too much YouTube, but 80% of US parents with children 11 and under say their kids watch YouTube. So not only is this one of the biggest platforms, second biggest platform in the world today to buy ads, it's just only going to get bigger and bigger. Some people think Facebook might be for boomers at some point. It might go the way of the dodo bird, but I don't think that YouTube is going anywhere, especially with the way we are indoctrinating our children with the YouTube. So YouTube, it is the second most visited website right behind Google. It is the second most used social platform. I've never really thought of it as a social platform, but I have answered a lot of angry comments on there, so I can see why there's some communication going on. And then people watch more than 1 billion hours of video on YouTube every single day. So that's the other reason that we have to be there as advertisers. And you can see from this chart that we are there as advertisers. We're flocking there in droves, massively year over year. It's by 2022, it's an estimated almost $7 billion will be spent on YouTube ads, which is an absolute reason that you should be there, and they should be maximizing your presence there. And the biggest reason is that 70% of viewers who bought 70% of viewers bought a brand after seeing it on YouTube. So there's a little correlation causation thing going on there, but we love to see it, and it's something that I know our first speaker today on day one of the YouTube Scale Challenge can speak to. And that is my friend, Ryan Mckenzie. So Ryan is someone I've just started following just from being in the same weird little Facebook groups for a while. I knew what an incredible brand True Earth was, having bought it previous to knowing him and having tried it and used it for a while. It's just an absolutely great product, really beneficial to the world in the amount that it's reducing waste all over the place. And not only that, it's really it's been able to scale to help more and more people to reach a bigger and bigger audience. What's really crazy is they got named Canada's second fastest growing startup this year. And they are, and what's really neat about it for me is that Ryan, as a co-founder, is also someone who's like really sleeves rolled up, hands on the console when it comes to a lot of this marketing. He spends a lot of his internal efforts on Facebook and Instagram, and I know he'll talk about this a little bit. He actually outsources the actual media buying of the YouTube component to an agency, but he still runs all of the creatives and all of the creative strategy that kind of goes into his full marketing stock, including YouTube. And yeah, so I'm very excited to talk about the art today. These 2 days are broken down into the art and the science of YouTube. So the first day, we're really going to focus in on how to make great creatives for YouTube. Day 2 is a little bit more about how to build your audiences, how to structure your campaigns. But when I saw Ryan was running all of these really interesting anchor videos, really high-end, highly produced, very story-driven anchor videos on YouTube, I just thought, what a great opportunity to get him in, talk about the process of creating these videos, the formula that goes in, as well as some of the success he's had. Welcome to the D2C Plus workshop. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's always exciting to participate in the community, you know?
Nice. Okay, well, you can now take over the screen share.
All right. So this is the first time I've ever done this presentation. So I would be happy if there was any questions that you had, Eric or Jacob, along the way that you think it would be a good idea for me to go a little more in depth on, to just start talking, and I will answer your questions as well. So
I love it. We'll field the questions for you. I'll sort of MC, and as questions come in, I'll pass them on when there's the correct break in the opportunity. So you go nuts.
Cool. So yeah, like Eric said, you know, I have created a lot of different types of hero videos, and we've done the gamut from the scrappy stuff, the influencer type native content, to the two videos you see on either side here. Those are like a big production, actors and film crew and the whole nine yards, to this basic video that you see in the middle here, which was something that I actually put together prior to spending big bucks on ads, and the performance was pretty similar. And what I'm going to share with you today is the rough format for how we produce these videos. And the demos that I'm going to show you are some of the higher production videos, but at the end, there's a couple different links. You can also go to our YouTube channel, and you can find all these videos if you really want to break them apart and take a look. But again, while I'm going to be showing you the premium videos that we've created, for reference, I believe the cheapo video that I produced myself with B-roll and some crappy native looking video actually has the most views on YouTube of the three. But combined, these three videos have done more than 70 million views since January of last year. So a decent amount, I'd say. All right, let me jump into it. So there are 7 core components in the formula that we use to produce these videos. I'll quickly tell you what they are, and then I'll give you demos of exactly what that looks like in scope of video, and kind of break it down. So we have your pattern interrupt, we have the problem, we have the solution, we have the call to action, objections and credibility, call to action numero 2, and the outro. So those are the 7 core components in our videos. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through each of these sections. I'm going to show you the part in this hero video that corresponds with it, and then I'm going to give you some narrative around it. So part 1 is the pattern interrupt, and this is the pattern interrupt on our first video. Actually, I got to make sure I have sound on here. Hold on. Zoom. Sorry, guys. One sec.
I'm already hooked with that mascara shot. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. 1 sec. I just want to make sure that the sound. There should be more. Sorry, I should have tested this out before I share sound. 1 sec. Sorry, I'm going to stop my share and reshare. 1 sec.
No worries.
Technical difficulties.
It'll all be edited in post. No, we never edit anything, actually. So.
Okay, so screen share again. I got the sound on. Oh, great.
It's going.
That is a problem. It wants me to reboot Zoom. Yeah, please install the Zoom audio device. Please restart your audio.
If you it's key to your presentation, so we're happy to take 5 minutes here.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I did not. This is the first time. Let's see if it actually forces me to restart.
If it does, we can just riff here. We have We have a few questions actually while we sort out these technical difficulties, and because we thought ahead and brought on Jacob, who is also a YouTube expert. Jacob, if you're there, I was wondering, Waleed wanted to know, how good is YouTube in regard to direct response ads to cold audiences?
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely can be a bit trickier to like crack the top of funnel at the start on YouTube if you're you're direct response oriented and trying to get those sales right off the YouTube click. So like typically a lot of the time with a new client, we'll start to build up that top of funnel audience with Google and things like that. And then, YouTube will be kind of more utilized on the retargeting side for people familiar with the brand and keeping that brand top of mind. But once you start to, dial in on what has been working, you can kind of convert that over to your top of funnel and start testing things like your similar audiences, your, interest audiences, match lists, customer lists, lookalikes, things like that. Infinity. Yeah. Affinity. So it definitely can be done. And I'm sure like Ryan's seen tons of success on cold audiences from, now that his campaigns are as dialed in as they are. But yeah. A little trickier right off the bat.
Yeah. I think I'm back, and I think I should have sound.
Cool.
Awesome. Let me know if you guys can hear this first of all.
Okay. Not yet. I know what she's saying.
No sound?
No sound. I think you might have to do that thing that it wanted you to do.
Yeah, I thought I did. All right, give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Jacob, you take the torch. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice. You can hear our hot pants. We've got some interesting comments. What time frame are we seeing that works best for view rate? I'm actually not even sure. Does that sound familiar?
Well, like view rate in terms of percentage of the video people are watching, or percentage of the people watching past that 5-second mark. That's kind of your initial view rate.
Yep.
But in terms of timelines, I mean, you'll definitely want to give it a few days if that's kind of what the question's around.
Yeah, Caitlin, if you want to provide a little more color there, happy to answer it. Greg, the presentation will be shared for D2C Plus members. All of the extra materials, the slide deck, all of the notes and stuff will all be available on d2cplus.co. Oh, nice, he's back already. Do you recommend using that ABCD formula for unskippable ads? I have not even heard of this ABCD formula. You could maybe elucidate us, anonymous attendee. All right, we got Ryan back. Any threats do the current privacy changes play on targeting of ads? Riley, I think this is one of those wait and see type situations. I think we've had a few more, maybe an announcement this past week about the way Google's handling it. What was their big announcement was that they're moving away from, what was it, like reading your emails, like actually away from like, textual targeting of people based on what's in their Gmails and more into like category targeting.
Buckets of people, yeah.
Buckets of people, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of like wait and see on Google, YouTube right now. I know Facebook has been, releasing a lot of details on sort of how to get ahead of it. It seems like Google sort of has some of that sorted on their end, less strain on the advertiser, which is nice. But when that prompt is released in the next like week or two here, I'm sure there will be some stuff that people need to do.
Totally.
But yeah.
What's the best time frame we should be creating a video for? 30 seconds or 2 minutes? I think this is all. It's funny. We're just all nibbling away at Ryan's presentation. I love it. We'll just have it all. I think Ryan will cover a little bit about the lengths. He's got some interesting things to say. Obviously, one of the things I came across in my research, it's obvious, but like, when you're on Facebook in the news feed, you're not, you maybe will stop to watch a video, but on YouTube, you're there to watch a video. And so if you get taken by a very interesting, mascara video or something, you're going to watch it probably till the end. So I think you're going to get longer, higher quality views on a platform like YouTube than anywhere else, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I'll answer that 1 sec. Let me just make sure the sound's working, and then I'll be happy to dive into that. So I'm just gonna click this. Let me know if you can hear it.
Things you should never mix with water. Mascara. Home electronics. Sodium metal. Witches. But do you know what really shouldn't?
So that's the pattern interrupt. And it's a lot better with sound now that you guys can hear it. So you guys have everybody's probably heard of like pattern interrupts on Facebook. It's really important on Facebook because you need to disrupt their feed scroll. But on YouTube, the pattern interrupt is more important to keep them from clicking that skip button and moving on to the video. This is going to set up their level of interest in what you're about to say. It's gonna get them to stop from clicking that button, and it's got to be something kind of fun. Like this isn't too crazy. It's a woman getting sprayed with a bucket of water and demonstrating a couple other things you shouldn't mix with water. But I would recommend trying to tie the context of your pattern interrupt to the video so it's more related. And before I carry on, there was a question for an optimal video length for ads. I can kind of give you a bit of information on that. And I've tested everything from a minute videos to 4-minute videos on YouTube. And everybody always tells me that, hey, Ryan, those videos they're great. They're funny, but they're way too long. People are never going to buy. And I kind of bought into that in the very beginning. And after doing kind of, 70 million views worth of testing, what we've come to conclude is that the longer you keep somebody watching your video, the more likely they are to purchase. So the key here, if you want to make it longer, is that you want to make it entertaining and engaging. And that starts with getting people's attention, which happens with the pattern interrupt. And again, on YouTube, you're trying to keep them from clicking the skip ad button. So that's component number one.
Things you
sorry, it's going to do it again. Problem number two is, item number two on the, in our little presentation here is the problem. So I'm going to show you what the problem looks like here.
But do you know what really shouldn't have water added to it? Laundry detergent. Why? Laundry detergents like these contain up to 80% water, which is why they're so heavy. And this is how much waste the average family creates in a lifetime just from buying laundry detergent. Look at that. It's more plastic than an episode of Real Housewives. And while technically many of the
and she'll go on again for another like 30 seconds here, but you get the point. Most direct response products solve some kind of problem. So this is going to be the place where you're going to highlight the problem and just kind of like copywriting. What is it? You're gonna take your finger and you're gonna jam your finger into like the wound that they have in their heart, and you're going to make them feel the pain from that problem. That's kind of the goal here. And, obviously here we're blending in a little bit of humor, keep it lighthearted. And we're going to, for us in this video, we're also going to educate them a little bit on the problem at hand, because there's like different levels of awareness. She goes on to talk about what percentage of laundry detergent bottles get recycled and which ones go to waste. But the goal here is to both reveal the problem and bring their awareness of the problem, or bring them closer to the awareness of what's going on. And I don't want to say make them feel bad about the problem, but kind of agitate it a little bit. Once we've established the problem, I mean, this is all basic, kind of like copywriting 101. I know that what might be basic in my head might not be obvious to everybody else. So, I'm just going to make sure that I cover all my points here. But once we've established the problem, agitated it a bit, we want to basically showcase our product as the solution to these problems, especially while your emotions are kind of running high about it. So this is what it looks like for us.
bottles. Introducing True Earth Eco Strips. Prepare to have your mind blown. Step 1, tear off a pre-measured strip of this concentrated liquidless detergent. Step 2, throw it in your washing machine. And step 3, girl, go reward yourself for saving the planet. Just listen to that sound. That's the sound of me reducing my carbon footprint. Followed by the ceramic chicken Jim's mom got us for Christmas. Most hideous thing you've ever seen. If we all made just this one simple switch, we'd eliminate over 1 billion of these wasteful jugs each and every year. That's the equivalent effect on greenhouse gases as planting over 9 million trees. And since True Earth takes up a fraction of the space, you can use your shelves for more important things. It's genius. Mommy's doing laundry, honey. Do you want to come help?
Never mind.
So if you like...
So yeah, that's presenting the solution. We're kind of also demonstrating how the product, like not only that this product does solve it, but like the measurables on why it's good and why it's going to work for you. The next, sorry, for some reason it shows that a second time. The next step is really simple, but I swear to God, this is probably the most overlooked thing that I see in both Facebook ads and YouTube ads. You demo your product and you don't ask the customer to purchase. Keep in mind, especially older demographic is used to watching commercials on TV with the expectation that they are going to go to the store to buy this thing in the future. So a lot of people are, and other things too, some people are watching videos and they're just kind of like vegging out, you know, like unless you tell them to do something, they're not going to necessarily take action. So you need to tell the person watching the video specifically what you want them to do. We want to ask them for the sale, and we're not talking a 30-second chunk of time here. It's something simple just like this.
Join the movement. Be part of the solution instead of the problem. Click below right now to try True Earth Eco Strips today. True Earth.
That's it. Super simple. You're just telling them to click the link. The link's below. Yo, you can buy this right now. You don't got to wait to go to the grocery store. You don't need to like save this in the back of your head and ask your husband or wife for this for Christmas. You can go and buy this right now, and it's available. It's up to you to take the next step. So that's very little thing
you should
that makes a very big difference. The next is we want to bust objections, and we want to add credibility and establish authority for why people should be purchasing from you. Before I show this, one thing that is really good about these hero ads that are expensive to produce is you immediately build some trust and authority, because it's difficult for fly-by-night companies to create a video like this that probably costs on average, you know, upwards of $100,000. They're not going to be making videos like this, putting them out on the internet and then scamming you. It's just, that's a really big racket. So you get a little bit of authority and trust right out the gate from that. But you know, on top of that, that's just kind of like an attribute of these videos. But this section of the video, regardless of whether it's professionally filmed by Hollywood director or not, is to bust the common objections, to resolve common concerns and demonstrate authority. So you can do that through social proof. You can do that through product demos, but I'll show you what ours looks like.
Today, True Earth comes with a 100% love it or return it guarantee. If it doesn't clean your clothes, and I mean perfectly, send it back for a refund. And because they're paraben-free, phosphate-free, and sensitive on the skin, unlike your baking soda, it won't give your skin that nasty rash. No! The choice is yours. Keep buying those heavy, bulky, wasteful, waterlogged containers, or join more than 100,000 happy customers who have switched to the simplicity, sustainability, and satisfaction of True Earth. Click below for your...
You guys started seeing the next thing. So other things that you can put in there that work really well are kind of like feature benefits, because typically your feature benefits or benefit features or whatever you want to call them, they're going to allow people to imagine themselves using them in different contexts. Some other things that would have probably been good to bring up in this particular video is like True Earth works on hard and soft water. It's grade water safe, septic safe, works in high efficiency and regular machines. Like, you know, it's you will know what your common kind of like the most common questions people ask. You can, and if you don't know what those are, I highly recommend looking through your existing reviews. If you don't have reviews, look at somebody else's reviews who has a similar product and look for what kind of concerns people are bringing up regularly, and those are good things to add here. You would have also noticed there was some social proof where we said how many people had given us a 5-star review. At that point, we were only at 100,000 customers when we released this video back in September, and now we're over 300,000, which is probably a pretty good insight into how well I feel these videos work. But the other thing you'll also notice is the risk-free trial. So we talk about risk reversal and basically making it so that it's a no-brainer for people to purchase by essentially removing all risk. All right.
Thanks. And you said this one cost upwards of 100,000.
It didn't cost me 100,000, but if you were to if you were to work with the same studio, it would probably be in that price point. It just depends. Like I've talked to a number of different agencies that make these videos, and they're usually, I mean, they can be from like 50,000 US to $1 million. Like if you go to work with Harmon Brothers, you're going to be looking at $1 million for something like this, plus a percentage of spend. So I would say, 100,000 is probably, you could probably get it done for cheaper. You can probably get it done in the 50 to 60 range. It just depends how much experience the person you're working with has, right?
Cool. And you have an example upcoming too of your one that you did on the cheap for people who don't have that budget.
Yep, I've got the links in here. So I'll after this is over, I'll demo the whole video on that, so you can see how my budget video, which cost me my time, how shitty it is, for part of my language, but it's not exactly, it's my 6-year-old could have edited the video better than me. Anyways, so there's 2 last components to these videos that I think are really important. The second thing is I put these both on the same slide so that I could just show you the last chunk together. But the second thing is another call to action. You have the call to action early in the video, trying to get people before they drop off. But the second call to action is super important too. And a mistake that I normally see people make is they'll have their call to action at the very end of the video, and it'll be there for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds or something like that. And if somebody, you don't necessarily, if you have your iPad sitting somewhere and you're watching it, you got to get up and grab your iPad. Like it doesn't give them a lot of time to click. So what's really important is you have the second call to action, and then you leave it on the screen and you have some kind of outro. So, examples of good outros are like bloopers from the filming, or like in our funny videos, we like to have them kind of like demo, like they're filming the last little bit, and then usually they start cracking up at some point, and we kind of like we don't cut out the transition to laughter. We just kind of let it carry through. So I'll show you on this one right here.
Don't believe me, huh? Take the True Earth 30-day challenge. Come on, click now. Do it. Use your finger or your mouse right now.
And then it just kind of sits here. Yeah, so that's I know there's a couple chunks of the video that I didn't show you guys, but you can go over to the YouTube True Earth Movement, and you can see all of our videos. But I do have some other little like pro tips that are really important that I think you should probably include in your video regardless. And then once that's over, I'll show you guys my low quality video that did really well, and you can get at me with some questions. So the first thing is you want to drop your brand name as many times as physically possible in the video. Like you want to have it on the screen. You want to have them say it. You want think of these like touch points. You just want the person to consume your brand in every possible way so that it's burned in their brain. You don't want to have it too much that it sounds like those old school search engine optimized articles that were were horrible to read, but enough within that it sounds reasonable, but it gives you an opportunity to say your brand a lot. And if you're using YouTube, I would try to get your brand name in there at least once before that 5 seconds is up before the skip ads, because that gives that's basically free if they skip it. I think, anyways, I can't remember, maybe things have changed, but get it in there before they skip it, so you get some brand recognition. Speed up the video. I would test it at like 110, 115, 120. You don't want them to sound like a chipmunk, but 20% speed up's not that bad, and it allows people to consume the information quicker. Combined with quick cuts, we found that speeding up videos allows people to give us more of their attention. Add lots of little sounds and image overlays on top of these quick cuts. So like you hear like just like, or like cats meowing, like that's obviously got to be kind of related to the video, but the idea is like all these little stimuli keep you interested. Having like image overlays on key portions of the video help a lot too. And then humor, while it's not required in the video I'm going to show you in a second, that has a terrible voiceover done by me as well. There's zero humor in it. It's boring, but it follows the same formula, and the cuts are slow. It was the first video I'd ever done like this, and but my point is that when you're adding humor to the content, it does help keep people engaged. So if I had maybe a little bit of a sense of humor and added it to the video, I probably would have done a little bit better. And one other thing I just kind of want to point out tied to all this is a lot of this stuff I learned through the Harmon Brothers trainings. So I don't want to pretend like I'm the person that came up with all of this stuff. I just want to make sure that, that credit is given where credit is due. A lot of this stuff I did learn from the Harmon Brothers and their program. So yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, this is the last slide. You should try True Earth, change your life, 100% guaranteed, give you money back if it doesn't. But if you sign up for D2C for the $1 investment, I think this slide will probably become available to you. And there's these are the 3 videos that we've done that combine for 70 million views. And if you guys have a few minutes, do you want me to show the budget version? All right.
I love this because this follows roughly the same formula that you got from these super high-end videos.
Yeah, it's the same formula. It's just it's not as quick cuts, and there's one part at the end that I just think is terrible, but whatever, it's okay. So I'm going to show it to you. It's only 1:42. Let me know if you can. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear sound.
Stop.
All good.
Before you buy more laundry detergent, say no to wasteful plastic laundry jugs. Why? In North America alone, over 700 million laundry jugs per year find their way into landfills. Yes, laundry jugs may be recyclable, but only 1 in 5 actually get recycled as intended. It's time to meet the new zero waste laundry detergent upgrade. True Earth laundry strips are a revolutionary zero waste laundry detergent in a pre-measured strip form. No measuring, no mess, no waste. Just clean laundry.
Just clean laundry.
Even the sound.
True Earth today.
Blue.
Customers are loving True Earth. In fact, True Earth has more than 1,000 5-star reviews. But True Earth is more than just a zero waste laundry detergent. It's a true laundry detergent upgrade. Besides coming in a compostable cardboard package,
You got some people saying they've seen this on YouTube.
True Earth laundry strips.
That's my voice.
So you
Doesn't
never
sound like me. I don't
spill
think. Maybe not.
laundry detergent again. Using True Earth means no more
The
messy
goopy
blue
cap
residue
one is one that
in your
really
cupboard.
gets me. I hate
True
goopy
Earth
caps.
works in both high efficiency and standard
Especially
washing
bonnets. Goopy bonnets.
True Earth fully dissolves in both cold and
Did you
warm
write this
water.
one yourself, Ryan?
And
Yeah.
unlike laundry pods, your children won't mistake True Earth for candy.
Oh,
Did I
deadly.
mention it is?
This is the part that sucks. This is just terrible.
And if you're still on the fence, we have a money-back guarantee. So you literally have nothing to lose. So click the link to try True Earth laundry strips today and join the True Earth movement.
Nice. Well, Ryan prefers this cheap version, which is awesome. It is. It's good. I love that you don't, because I think people put a lot of pressure on themselves to be funny. It has to be funny. It has to be a Harmon Brothers level production. But what that video really shows is you just tell your brand story, and you don't have to be super funny. You use stock footage and things that you film yourself. Like it's all doable.
Yeah, I mean those 7 steps. If you do those 7 steps, really the only things you need to write are the pattern interrupter, the hook, which I would actually recommend making like 3-4 different hooks. I mean that for 2 reasons. First of all, you can test them all to see which one does the best, but then you can also, your videos last longer because you get you can target different avatars and stuff as well. So you can have a hook for like eco, you can have a hook for like people that hate goopy lids. You could have an avatar for people that are vegan and don't want laundry detergent that was tested on animals, and so on and so forth. So anyways, I'm changing gears here. All you need to be able to do really is write the problem, which you've probably already done before in your existing ads, write the solution, and then take some of your objection busting material that probably already exists on your website or in your copy, add in some social proof, a risk reversal, and really that's it. It's write a script, pay somebody on Fiverr. I pay somebody on Fiverr to record it if you don't want to put your voice out there like I did.
Sultry.
B-roll and a couple shots of your video. It's easy.
And what program did you use to actually put it together?
I think
iMovie?
No, I probably, I don't remember if I actually edited that together or not. I use, on my Mac, I use a lot of times ScreenFlow. I think it's like $100 and it's really, really easy to use. I was using After Effects today for a little bit, but that's like, I feel like I need like a physics degree to use After Effects. But like everything that I did in that video, you could do with iMovie, no problem, or Windows Movie Maker. There's no rocket science stuff.
Yeah. And it's all good content, right? Like you can use this beyond just YouTube. This is great business content for Facebook, Instagram ads, even Google to display. But yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask quickly about just the overall strategy and where these anchor videos fit in the funnel. I assume these are meant for top of funnel, right? Generally. And then I'm wondering what are the conversion rates like at that top of funnel point? And then these must feed retargeting better than any other kind of video as well, right? Because you get so much watch depth on them.
Yeah, I mean, we put them both on Facebook and on YouTube, and they work fantastic on both. Obviously, the videos are too long for Instagram placements, which it's a shame. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, when the videos first launch, they're great bottom of funnel too. Like we share them with our list. We share them with our list. We share them with our SMS lists, and we share them with our ambassadors. And what's crazy about it is those guys, like, we share the YouTube version as well as the Facebook version. But we get so much engagement when we first launch these videos from our own audience. And like, we get tons of sales. Like it's insane. Like the bottom of funnel fades over time from these because they get shared so much. But from a top of funnel perspective, they're fantastic. Like we're really running probably primarily 3 ads on YouTube top of funnel. The Real Men Do Laundry, that one that I just showed you, or the 2 that I just showed you. And then I've mostly burned all of them out on Facebook, like not completely, but they seem to have longer longevity on YouTube. But
nice.
Yeah.
Lauren's asking for specifics. Lauren's always coming in with specifics. You targeted cold audience with this video, and then what sort of budget did you start with? And then what sort of approximate ROAS were you able to achieve?
I mean, ROAS is really business dependent. Like we're primarily a subscription focused business. So I'm happy if I get like a one ROAS. We also see lift in places like Amazon and grocery stores. There's a massive halo effect from it. Like when we launch these videos, we do retail too. And when we sent it to our people who were signed up for retail, but have never actually made a purchase, we saw a massive spike. And we were thinking about carrying you, but we were on the fence until we saw this. So the question was like, sorry, what was it?
I think you pretty much answered it. Like, I think it's just pretty much about like what kind of ROAS it was. I think people just I think there's a mental block about investing this much in the creative and then how much you have to put into it in a way in order to start seeing returns.
I mean, we smashed the things that you should never mix with water with so much money, man. I spent $100,000 in a single day on that video on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the most money I've ever spent in a day on Facebook ads. But I'm talking about YouTube, but these work on both platforms.
Are there any changes that you say the Facebook version and the YouTube version? What changes are there?
The Facebook version, we generally make square or that 5x6 format. And then since Facebook usually has audio off, we have like captions, not the Facebook captions, but like on brand captions that go along with it.
Nice. That was a point you brought up in our pre-podcast too, just about the other reason why YouTube traffic is so valuable, because it's like audio on as a default, which is that whole other dimension. Yeah. Especially when it comes to getting them to say your name, hear your name, your brand name, etc. There's a lot of real value there. Some questions about the early stages. Jonathan Miracle asks, what metrics should I be focusing on for top of funnel ad sets on YouTube starting out? Should I be more focused on view stats versus ROAS for instance?
I'm probably going to let Jacob answer this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, one point to add to this conversation, if you're going to run YouTube traffic, is make sure you have your tracking set up correctly, and you can really dial into those assisted conversions, you know, how it's playing to the holistic results of your campaigns on Facebook and Google, because unlike, you know, Facebook and stuff, you're going to see like a 5-to-1 ratio of assisted conversions, people seeing your video that are later converting, just because YouTube is such like a prominent placement. It's everywhere on the web, and there's a really good chance your audience is gonna see your ads and help you keep top of mind. So relating to that question, you know, top of funnel, if you're starting out, typically you will want to focus on some things like view rates and, you know, making sure your videos do have that hook, that first 5-second hook that people are viewing. You know, past that they are clicking, click rates. But while you're doing this, you know, you want to make sure your tracking's right. And then you can start to see that build up the assisted conversions, the, you know, direct conversions. And then meanwhile, on retargeting, you're always looking for those sales, right? So it kind of develops from that. After, you know, a week or two of spend, you start to shift your strategy to just direct sales. And then kind of YouTube does the rest. It just feeds the monster. That'd be my answer. Basically.
I like it. But what Anonymous is asking, what do you mean by setting up tracking properly? Do you mean Google Tag Manager? You talking about analytics?
Yeah. So, I mean, getting your Google tags all set up, integrating like your YouTube account with your Google AdWords, making sure it's, you know, linked in there. You don't want to just basically be running it separately or anything in a new Google AdWords account. Making sure that, yeah, you got your assisted metric tools set up in the tool section. I think Google actually just made that automatic, so everyone should probably have that. Making sure your Google Pixels place correctly, just all that stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Is there a leading? This is for Ryan. Is there a leading indicator you look at for creative burnout? We're currently testing using CVR to impression. Wondering if there's anything that you sort of look for.
You know, I mean, the biggest thing, it's just the CPA getting out of control. I mean, I wish I could say there was some other metric, and there probably is. I'm probably just not smart enough to know what it is. You know, one thing I have noticed is that even after a creative feels like it's burned out or whatever you want to call it, or it's been viewed too many times, it doesn't necessarily mean that the creative isn't effective anymore. It just means like you have to be a little bit more, you got to dig a little bit deeper to find other audiences that might not have seen it. So like I'll give you an example. This is actually on the Facebook side, but I was testing like 30 different parenting audiences last week, like micro audiences, like 1 million people. And like 29 of the 30 sucked. And one of them, like, you know, I completely burned out that things should never mix with water. Like I'm not getting reasonable CPAs like anywhere, but I just put it in all the ad sets because I know that it worked previously, and it's lighting it up on this one interest with, you know, only 1 million people. And obviously I'm going to burn it out fairly quickly, but there are, you know, just because it's burned out to your core audiences, sometimes if you dig a little deeper, you can find a little extra life.
I love that. You say you've gotten more life out of these videos than you feel like maybe a lot of people do with these anchor style videos.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too many people that are running them as frequently as we're kind of planning on doing it now. But you know, like the things you should never mix with water. I think that video alone's at like 45 million views.
Interesting.
Like I said, that one interest we just found still doing it, and it's still doing well on YouTube too.
And do you have that? Oh, sorry, Eric.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead, Jacob.
I was just going to say, do you have a couple of those videos showing as public on your channel?
Yep, they're all open.
Yeah.
They're you should be able to find them fairly easily.
Yeah, because there's that organic, like, you know, as you're building up those views through your paid ads, typically it's going to show your YouTube page on the first page of Google if someone's searching you, and having millions of views on all your, you know, your YouTube page is great for just optics alone.
Totally. I don't think it necessarily carries over the actual organic ranking, but I mean, if you really want to hack or mess with that, what you can do is you can create like display ads with your thumbnail, and drive people to, like, so it's not, I don't think it uses the view metrics from ads in the organic ranking, but if you push people from a display ad in YouTube that shows like the thumbnail and takes them to YouTube to watch the video, that would still contribute to your organic traffic. So if you name your video something that gets searched a lot, and you will send send all your organic, or send your list to the video in the first couple of days, and build some display ads promoting that video, to other, like on competing products or whatever you want to do, that should definitely contribute to your actual Google ranking, your YouTube ranking.
I wanted to ask about, you've got these high-end creatives that work up and down the funnel, but have you tested other creatives? Have you tested other simpler creatives that specifically go in and sort of like spur people along once they've already made these brand engagements?
Yeah, I mean, I tested some Pilot House ones the other day, actually.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've used a lot of different. I've used a few different agencies to produce like kind of those middle of funnel type assets, with kind of mixed results. Sometimes they'll work really well. Sometimes it's just, it's harder for me because the amount of people that I've showed my stuff to is pretty dramatic. Like in Canada, I think people have seen my ads like 30 times per person on Facebook. So I have to do something to get them to pay attention again. But the stuff that you guys did, one of the ads is I'm actually running it top of funnel too, and it's performing pretty good. And it's like kind of one of those it's kind of your scrappy I don't want to say influencer type piece, but it's got like some testimonials baked into it, and like you can kind of see the product demo. They work too. Like I guess the reason why I create these videos is so that I have I can kind of address multiple segments of the audiences that are available. But the one place where I do find those kind of like scrappy videos do really well, and shorter videos, is bottom of funnel on YouTube. Like most of the stuff that's bottom of funnel on YouTube for us is like shorter, like product demo type stuff.
First person sort of unboxings and things like that. I think it's so much just showing people using the product is just, it just ingrains, oh, I could use that product. That's what I would look like using that product. Like, I think all of that just helps. Yeah.
There was a question earlier on UGC and like seeing how that's doing on YouTube. And I know like internally we've started to see it do really well on YouTube, even just kind of rough videos of people film themselves, like, check out this new product I bought. This is awesome. So yeah, it's definitely kind of, and like on the retargeting side, like you were saying, Ryan, like we kind of swap those in at a quicker pace. Every week or two, they start to sort of fizzle out just because you're forcing your pool of retargeting people to keep seeing that same video. So you can get a little scrappier for sure and a little more direct response oriented.
Brooke has a question here. Have you ever thought about bringing back the more authentic, sort of like more serious toned, to your higher level content? Is that something you might plan in the future to try? Or do you love the humor?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Environmentalism to most people is a boring topic. I know that I'm not trying to be mean towards the vertical that we're in, but the problem with things that are boring is they don't get the masses audience. So you kind of get stuck with like more extreme segments of the audience, and that segment well, they probably can be pretty crazy raving fans. They're not going to, lots of people won't even listen to an environmental argument because it bores them. So kind of like, I'm not going to say that we're not going to create more serious content in the future, because we most definitely will. However, I'm definitely of the mind that if I can entertain people and educate people, then I'm able to have more impact on the world than I could if I was just like stating facts and being educational. I think that like if I can reach a larger audience by sucking them in with some fun, then I think that's probably my path to impact.
I like that. And even you can even in the tone of that video where it's sort of like, I'm saving the planet, there's even like a little bit of that like knowingness of, just like it's, I'm sitting here sipping my drink while I'm saving the planet over here. And it's like, there's just, that they're kind of in, not the joke, but they're in on the joke a little bit.
And most people aren't the extreme, right? So it's like our whole, I mean, again, I'm not here to talk about my business, but like our whole MO is that we're not shaming people for not being perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, but when like small changes lead up to massive impact and lead by example. And yes, Talitha is a regular everyday human being who has drinks at the side of her pool, but Talitha's the girl in the video. Talitha can make decisions that when combined with millions of other people making decisions, create big change. And it just demonstrates that everyday people can still participate without being an environmentalist.
And not have to sacrifice their laundry, their laundry experience. I like that, Jacob, you said you'd answer this one, and I think it's a pretty easy one, but YouTube, does YouTube only work for lower ticket items, or does a product in the $300 price range also work?
Yeah, definitely both. I mean, lower ticket, it might be a little quicker to finding that success on, direct response clicks, just because there's, a little less entry there. But higher ticket, like YouTube's almost, I would say, essential. Just it's a longer buying process. You kind of need that branding play, right? Keeping top of mind if someone's debating a car versus another car or something. So it can work for both, just about strategy for sure.
And how you target that audience. It's an intent platform. You can build, so much rich intent into it, and we'll get into that a lot more tomorrow on the actual campaign structure side. So there's no reason you couldn't.
And you can also retarget them on other platforms. Like if if you're using Facebook too, and Facebook top of funnel isn't working for you, it's just too expensive. YouTube might be able to drive that top of funnel traffic. I know people that use YouTube for top of funnel and then Facebook for retargeting. And I mean, obviously YouTube a little bit as well, but they build the audience on YouTube, or they build their audience through native, and then retarget on other platforms to close the deal.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. We're coming up on the end here. Riley, I don't think there's any difference between a physical product and a digital product as an app, in that you still want to solve the problem. You still want to agitate the problem. Like I look at the ads that I see for Noom, for instance, on, and it's just the same thing. It's people talking about how they overcame this problem with this app. So I imagine as long as your revenue model backs out in the same way that a physical product would, or even better, then I think it's, you could use the same formula and get away with it for sure. Just the last question there, and this is, I think you maybe spoke to this a little bit, but Asif really wrote it down here. He said genuine Q as opposed to his previous ones that were ingenuine. But how do you find the stomach to take the leap of faith producing such a high-end video like this? Is it because you started with lower-end vid you showed us and then thought worth pushing the boat out further based on the amazing results, or did you just take the big leap from the outset? And are there any other brands you think that are creating killer YouTube ad content?
So it's probably like a dopamine regulation issue that I have. No, no, it's when you create a brand and you have success with certain things, there's always, like for me, I'm always looking to de-risk. How can I have, like, I don't want to be like, I used to only use image ads. I didn't use YouTube. I only used image ads for like 5 years on Facebook, just nothing but image ads. And, I started doing the scrappier stuff for a while, and it was working all right. And I was like, I need to be able to reach a larger chunk of my audience, and I need to have more tools in my toolbox that will allow me to grow this business. So for me, it was, either spend the time and effort trying to produce this myself, or like, what's my time worth? Like what's the mistakes I'm going to make? What are they worth? And then, having really hoping that the person that I was working with to film it was going to be able to seal the deal for me. And, he knocked it, they knocked it out of the park. So,
you had a lot of track record. You say you're buying stills for a long time, whatever, but the business had the momentum. You knew this was a product, that could produce ROAS, that produced a long LTV. So you had a lot of confidence going to it. And then you also had the YouTube video that you made, right? So I feel like it's just a long process building one step after the other.
I would say one thing, I would probably validate that you can sell your product with the inexpensive media before you take the jump. Because if you can't sell your if you can't sell what you got with like the native videos and whatnot, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, not necessarily just on YouTube, but as a whole, if you can't sell your product in some other means, then you're not going to have success with the video either. Because if your sales page doesn't get the job done, then there's no magic bullet that's going to do that for you.
Yeah. You want to be optimized when you're going all in, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I think it's a very successful day. I'm glad we got Jacob to show up last minute. That was
the time staller, they call me. Yeah,
that's great. That's great. There's a few more questions here about CPAs and attribution and stuff, and I think we can really get into that tomorrow when you will be back with head of Google Ads at Pilot House, Saul Garcia, and maybe Jacob, if we can twist his arm to join us as well. If you want to know more, get in touch with Ryan. You can find him somewhere on the True Earth website. He's active on Facebook. I don't know if he tweets. What else?
Yeah, LinkedIn. Yeah, you can find me if you add me on a platform. Just send me a message. Tell me that it was from here, because I get a lot of random people adding me, and I'm cool with being friends with everybody. I just hate it when people like just don't tell me who the hell they are. Like, just say hi, man.
I love it. Well, say hi to Ryan or he'll be pissed. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you guys.